The dreaming city. An awoken stronghold beyond the reach of any outsider. Such was my wish. Granted by Riven, the last Ahamkara, who bargained only with me, until my city was invaded. First by the Taken King, and then the Witch Queen. Riven struck new bargains with them, and with her dying breath she granted a wish that laid a curse upon the dreaming city. But Savathun is shrewd and clever. In secret, she inscribed her true wish on the wall that governs the terms of Riven's pact with me. A wish to pursue the witness. Only Riven can open the way. Riven, whose heart was torn out by guardians. My Techeuns assemble to conjure her spirit now. We shall make Savathun's final wish, and hear Riven's final price.
Guardian, my Techeuns are preparing a spell to conjure Riven's spirit so that she can grant Savathun's wish. However, the Vex of the Soul Divisive have laid siege to the Keep of Voices in an attempt to halt our efforts. I must call upon you to defend the Dreaming City once again. Petra and Crow will guide your path.
What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Destiny.
Apologies for not rolling out the red carpet. I've been preoccupied.
Haven't we all? What's our situation?
The Techeuns evacuated the keep with Riven's heart. The Vex have since fortified their position.
Then let's cut them down and take back what's ours.
And welcome back to the Last Wish raid, everybody. Or, well, not the raid itself, but the location of the raid. You'd know, we've been here before. Okay, I'm going to go over some things really quickly before we go too far in this, but I do want to give you guys a little bit of a taster as to the build that we're going to be using all season. I'm going to explain this very briefly. We're going to be running Solar this time, which is much more friendly to the artifact that we currently have, although it is not the Acolyte Staff. We'll be getting the actual artifact soon enough. Dragon's Breath is the new exotic rocket launcher that is tied to Season of the Wish. This is a reprised rocket launcher from Destiny 1, although it behaves incredibly differently from how it did in Destiny 1. In its original state, it was just a standard rocket launcher that left it was essentially just a solar grenade wherever it detonated. Very weak rocket launcher in that state, so much so that even Bungie realized that, so they completely reworked the thing in Destiny 1 to where it became a napalm launcher. Instead, it would fire a very slow-moving rocket that you could release the trigger of to then drop to the ground, where it would leave napalm where it detonated, which would cause a lot of damage around everything that was around it. Now, of course, with a lot of subclass changes and things like Scorch and Ignite existing, they had to revamp Dragon's Breath even further. So now, it is a rocket that embeds itself into targets and or walls that periodically ejects incendiary fuel that inflicts a scorch. The longer this weapon goes without firing, the more fuel the next contains. Now, the scorch that it inflicts is really high. In fact, so much so that it'll cause ignitions really quickly, especially if you have more composite propellant stacks. High Octane, igniting nearby targets partially replenishes fuel. This weapon refills itself from reserves upon gaining maximum fuel. So the loop with this weapon is very simple. Stick something at ×5, make sure that a lot of things blow up in its wake, mainly with ignitions. You'll get ×5 a lot faster, the more things that explode, and then you can pull it out and shoot another rocket again. Notice also my really high reserves right now. You can use this rocket pretty often, but it is as much a DPS weapon as it is, or I guess a total damage weapon, as it is an ad clear weapon. However, you don't want to pull this rocket out too early, otherwise you risk messing up the loop, so don't expect to main this thing. You just need to fire it off, go about your business for, I'd say about 10 to 15 seconds, and then you can go back to firing it off. The only thing you have to be wary of is that wherever it sticks, it is absolutely in danger of killing you if you get too close to it. The Catalyst, which we do not have, gives it access to, well, basically a faster buildup of composite propellant charge, as well as fire sprites on every ignition that it causes, which that can be useful for certain builds. Now, we're not going to go into the build just yet. I am just going to briefly mention the exotic I am using for this season, which is Celestial Nighthawk. Got myself a pretty good one, and I have fully masterworked it. This thing gives you a high high damage golden gunshot, a single one, and a much more greatly buffed version of this than we've ever had in the past. It's no longer outclassed by any other super buffing exotic like it used to be, and also causes whatever dies to it to explode, which also kills things around it. And the more precision shots you land with solar weapons while your super is not active, the faster this thing recharges, which plays great into using a hand cannon. That's the gist of it. We'll go a little bit more in-depth in it in the next episode. For right now, we got to get to Riven. So let's go. Where'er she may be. Probably where we left her last, which is in where we fought her back in the Last Wish raid. So let's do this thing. Now, as far as the artifact is concerned, let's talk about some of the way that those perks work this time around, because just like in Season of the Seraph, Season of the Wish is the actual current season, which means that it has the relevant artifact, it has the relevant mods, it has the relevant, all of the relevant subclass buffs that I'm actually going to be able to take advantage of while we play through this season, which is a good thing because Season of the Wish is also by far the meatiest season and is going to take us much longer to go through than any previous season thus far. Deep, Witch, Defiance, you name it. So we got a lot to go over here, and we need to explain all of this as quickly as we can. But the loop with the artifact and how it basically plays is the more you shoot things, the more likely you are going to get Radiant to proc, especially when landing precision hits with any weapon. This is why hand cannons are pretty good for this. Pulse rifles can be really good. I mean, really any good primary, but you got to be able to land lots of precision hits, then you get Radiant like I just did there. While you're Radiant, the more you shoot with solar weapons, the more Scorch stacks you cause on enemies, which is good for causing ignitions. But you know what else is good for causing ignitions is another mod where if you shoot something in the chest or in the crit spot with Radiant active, you get an ignition, just like that. And this allows you even more crowd control. So if they don't die outright from being shot at, you got the ignitions and the Scorch that's also dealing extra damage on top of everything else. Not to mention this hand cannon has incandescent, which just makes it spread Scorch even more. It's a really, really good loop. Now let's show the power of Golden Gun by not even landing a crit here. Just gone. Goodbye. It's basically an instant delete button, which is really good. I mean, as supers really should be more often than not. It just feels a lot better when they're that way, but that one in particular deletes most things that don't have health bars on the bottom of the screen. So let's head back. And I can shoot these from afar, although with a hand cannon is not the most ideal thing. Now, as far as what solar weapons I could be using right now, there's some other, I mean, really any solar weapon would work, but as far as the ones I have access to, really the only other one that came to mind was Polaris Lance. But the problem is that is an exotic, and I did want to use Dragon's Breath this season.
The Techeuns need a fragment of those remains to cast their spell.
A spell to conjure Riven's spirit. Are you sure about this, Petra?
I'm sure that I trust my queen's judgment.
Wow, the spirit of Riven, huh? If you say so. Do we really want that, though? I mean, we know how Ahamkara can be, right? We do know that, right? Anyway, I feel a little gypped. I wish there was a chest here so I could pull one of these open and get 1,000 voices, but alas, up we go. And into the vault, which is a very cool encounter, I must say. But no, we are not going to be doing the encounter properly. All these doors are open. The only thing preventing us from getting through right now isn't the mechanisms of the vault itself, but rather the Vex. So we got to kill all these things along the way. Now, I am opting for nanotech tracer rounds as my origin trait on this particular hand cannon, mainly just because there is an artifact mod that actually buffs that origin trait and does some other things. Again, we'll get into that later. If you see those little micro missiles shooting out of my hand cannon as I shoot things, that is why. And it looks like, okay, we got you over there. You're getting Dragon's Breath. Nope, you are teleporting away from the Dragon's Breath. Okay, well, can we get enough Scorch stacks here? Maybe. Hold on. More? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's a Scorch stack. Okay, let's fire this shot, and this is only at ×3, but we're going to fire that over there and see what that does. Yeah, so Dragon's Breath is pretty darn good. You see that just from all of that, that is incredibly effective, causing everything to just blow up in its immediate vicinity. But before we head through, let me go grab one of these heavy bricks at least.
Corpse. A shame I wasn't around to see the killing blow.
We never should have done it. She set a trap and I walked right into it. My desire for vengeance blinded me to her schemes.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah, remember that killing Riven was not actually a good thing. It is what set the curse of the Dreaming City in motion, and also was exactly as Savathun planned for. So it was a great raid, but it was also us all falling for a trap that Riven herself had set up completely. But in we go. Oh man, I miss this place. Now generally, Riven is down below somewhere, but as you can see, she's right here. Dead and, well, I was going to say buried, but overgrown at the very least. Gosh, she's so beautiful.
Whatever they're doing, you'd better put a stop to it.
Can do. Hold on a second while I get absolutely swarmed here. Let's get some radiance going, and then we can start taking some of these guys out with ignitions. If the ignitions proc, that's the only downside to this, is that sometimes the perk doesn't actually activate when you get those precision kills like it's supposed to, which can be a little annoying. Where is the last enemy here? Hello? Oh, you were. I think he was honestly stuck in her talon.
Don't let them near Riven.
All right, you got it. Luckily, it teleported out though, and I didn't get soft lock there. That absolutely has happened before, and in fact, one of the places I can think of is in actually one of these Season of the Wish activities when we get into those. But Season of the Wish, and the reason why this whole artifact perk thing is actually incredibly important is because one of the activities in Season of the Wish is actually one of the hardest things that we will be doing in this entire expansion cycle. Probably next to the highest possible tier of Deep Dive, except we never actually did one of those because nobody is doing those anymore. In fact, what everyone is doing for high difficulty solo content now, or match-made content, is the Season of the Wish activity, which we will be getting into probably, I want to say good like 3 or 4 episodes from now. I'm just going to stick you with that. The only problem with Dragon's Breath is Vex and other teleporty enemies do like to teleport out of the way of it sometimes, so you really got to catch them with their pants down, like basically wait for them to come out of a teleport to get them properly.
Retrieve the fragment and bring it to the chamber. I'll hail Queen Mara.
Can do. Ahamkara Tooth, huh? Wonderful. Hello? Are we about to get stopped here? Who's that? Oh, gosh. Why are you shielded? I don't like that. All right, I'm getting out of here. Peace. We need to leave. Really don't need one of those chasing us down the entire way. Oh, we got more. Okay. Okay. Well, this is cool. Pardon. Here, y'all can have that. All right, I will be leaving. That was a little overkill. That is another shielded wyvern over there. Okay, this is going to be fun. We just got to get around this. Man, we really are doing the Queen's Walk again. You've got to be kidding me, but at least I'm not carrying a heavy ball that makes it impossible for me to jump. There we go. Oh, that didn't want to land in the blight there. Man, what if I could land my shots? This is why you don't generally hip fire. It's a little harder to do. All right, but we're almost there. Oh, and then we got this room too. Got the vault room again. That means we got to take a long path, don't we? Pardon. Here, y'all can leave me. Now, this mission was definitely not designed around having the artifact perks because, well, one, this is the mission where you were, or after it, you're supposed to get the artifact, and two, you're not supposed to have it all upgraded like I do.
My Techeuns require, and they will open a portal to the Wall of Wishes as they begin to conjure Riven.
All right, can do. You want it? I'm putting it in this.
Your deep sight will reveal Savathun's wish. Once Riven grants it, we can at last pursue the witness.
Sure. So we're going into the Wishing Wall area, right? Okay, here we go. Let's do this thing. There we go. All right, we just need to make it happen. So, do we just step on it? That didn't work. Okay, hold on. Oh, no, I just need to shoot each of these. Okay, there we go. That do it?
Hear me, Riven. Savathun's final wish, inscribed in secrecy, has been invoked by the Guardian. Grant it now, and feast upon the difference between desire
and reality.
Such a long slumber. Such a rude awakening. Grant the Witch Queen's final wish, you say? I refuse.
Leave us.
Queen Mara, what a joyous reunion.
For what reason do you refuse to grant the wish?
Why would I, O Majesty mine? Lest you forget, I am dead, as are the rest of my kind. The Vanguard made sure of it. I need no reason to refuse your wish, only a reason to grant it. What could you possibly offer to entice my cooperation? It wasn't enough for your champions to slay me, but then you saw to the destruction of all my eggs. Well, not all of them.
Like the one in Savathun's spire?
One of many, hidden within my lair, away from your vengeful eyes. But if you were to secure them on my behalf, then you would also secure your heart's desire.
And ensure that the Ahamkara live to terrorize us once again. Very well, Riven. We have struck a bargain.